$3,000 silver. Don't get mad at me. I'm not saying it. I will tell you who is saying it and why they are saying it a little bit later in this live stream, which is focused on gold and silver for the basement dweller community and also for people in the crypto community who've been begging me to do more gold and silver focused content. This is for you. We're going to get up to speed on what is happening in the precious metal sector because it is absolutely amazing what is going on. So thank you for being here. Thanks for joining me in the basement. You know, you're always welcome here. I hope you found a little home away from home, a little escape from reality where we can talk about what we love to talk about. Now, let's focus on one thing before we get to the $3,000 silver. Did I say gold earlier? If I did, I meant to say silver. But before we get to, yeah, you heard that right, $3,000 silver. Let's talk about gold and what is going on right now in the gold market. Gold is like the original form of decentralized finance, the original account keeper for the world's wealth, and it is at all-time high levels. But I want you to think about two things because there's even more to be excited about when we think about gold and where the price could go, because there's two things that haven't even happened yet. They could create just an unbelievable new wave of demand for gold and the precious metals markets as a whole. Number one, we haven't even had retail mania happen with gold yet. People are just now starting to talk about gold. I was at a couple of family functions yesterday, and people who I am related to who are heavily, into the investment world started to mention gold and mention it to me because they know that I've come up as a gold and silver maxi over the years. So people are just now starting to realize what's going on in the gold market. So if we get retail, oh my gosh, imagine if we get retail involvement in the gold and silver markets in the West. We know what's going on in China. We'll talk about China here a little bit later. If just more than 0.5% of the United States wealth was invested in gold and silver, imagine what that would do for demand, right? Because we still are the wealthiest country in the world. The other thing, guys, it hasn't even happened yet, right? It hasn't even happened yet. Hold on, we got to break him out. Trump's giving him a really hard time, but our old buddy Jerome Powell, right? There he is with his toilet paper money. He hasn't even started to really loosen, to really pivot, right? And we know Trump is good. So those two things that could happen could be like rocket fuel, double nitrous afterburner for the gold and silver markets. Now let's talk about this $3,000 silver number. Imagine this, right? Big Tim the Silvershire sent that one to me. Imagine if that was worth $3,000 and that it were to happen within the next 10 years. Let's go out and see what Robert Kiyosaki is saying. And Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author, highly respected guy, says here, oh boy, hold on. Let me back up. Let's talk about, sorry guys, I had the microphone muted. We're going to talk about Robert Kiyosaki. Hold on one second. Let me check in with Susie. We're having some technical issues here. Wonder if she has her walkie on. Hey, Susie, do you have your walkie on? Over? Nope, she does not. Okay, so we're going to go to Robert Kiyosaki. Welcome to live streaming. Welcome to the basement and see what he's saying. This is where we're getting the $3,000 silver number from, right? He says we could be in a greater depression. He urges followers to act fast. This was on an April 19th, so just 2 days ago. He posted this on X again, talking about a greater depression possibility. Credit card debt, U.S. debt, everything's at all-time highs. Pensions are being stolen. The U.S. could be headed for this greater depression. The investor then said he saw it coming years ago, claiming that his past books, like The Rich Dad's Prophecy and Who Stole My Pension, predicted the financial chaos now unfolding. Now he believes the crash is underway and that bold action is needed. His advice, right? Buy Bitcoin, buy gold, and buy silver. So he says, crypto's okay, right? Gold and silver. I'm of the belief, right? These are all three, gold, silver, Bitcoin, crypto, are all forms of decentralized finance that can save people. And I think that's what Robert Kiyosaki is saying here as well. He says, quote, I strongly believe that by 2035, one Bitcoin could be worth over $1 million. Gold will be $30,000 per ounce and silver $3,000 a coin, he wrote. So that's what he's saying. Guys, look, is it out of the question? Do you think it's out of the question? I don't think it's out of the question. I think when we look at the fiscal situation, excuse me, when we look at all the factors that are unfolding in front of us right now, these numbers are not out of the question. Hey, thank you. We got 100 people joining us here on YouTube. This is the first YouTube specific, gold and silver specific live stream we've done in a long time. It's good to see everybody here. It's good to have all the new people also from crypto who are very interested in gold and silver. Guys, I'm telling you, the silver and gold community and the crypto community shares 99% of the same beliefs in terms of why we invest in what we believe in. Getting away from the fiat system. And I believe that's what our friend Robert Kiyosaki was telling us in his most recent post. Okay. Now let's go look at gold. This is getting crazy. This, again, we've yet to have the retail crowd join in on the gold and silver trade. But think about this recent development. Came out last week. After a surge to record highs, gold overtakes the Magnificent Seven as the most crowded trade on Wall Street. So that means that now gold, right? And when we talk about gold, we're talking about silver. Yeah, absolutely. But the gold, look at this, is totally overtaken the Magnificent Seven. And I'll read you this quickly. According to the Bank of America Fund Manager Survey published, this was last week, nearly half of the fund managers surveyed saw long gold. That means people that are investing in gold, believing that it's going to go higher, or bets that gold will rise, as the most crowded trade in the market right now. This marks the first time in 2 years that fund managers did not see the Magnificent Seven as Wall Street's most crowded trade. And just to review, because I always have a hard time spewing them all out for you, that would be Apple, Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Meta, Tesla, and NVIDIA. Guys, remember for years and years, that's all we heard about was NVIDIA, Apple, people, and gold and silver investors were just taking pain after pain after pain. But now this pendulum has shifted. Now we're seeing that the big fund managers are starting to look at gold as a strong, long bet. And let's run out and take a look at the markets and see why. There's the gold price. Wow. Today, that's the futures that's the future for, does it say June 2025, $3,424 for gold. Look at a 1-year chart of gold. I don't even need to draw a line on there. Look at a 5-year chart for gold. Unbelievable. And what this tells us is that the world is losing confidence in fiat money. Countries, right, when they don't trust each other, when they don't trust each other's money, when they don't trust each other on a geopolitical level, that's when They move to gold. And that's exactly what we're seeing here right now. But let's go take a look at the broader markets because, wow, the Dow Jones down 1,100 points. The S&P 500 down 3%. The NASDAQ down another 3.5%. Let's take a look at the precious metals prices. There we have gold up almost $100. Silver, green, right? Now, silver, remember, and it's incredible what's going on with silver right now. And look at crypto as well, by the way. Bitcoin, right? Holding in there, holding strong. But let's go back to silver. And you may be wondering, like, how can gold be flying? Why is the gold to silver ratio over 100 right now? Well, it's real simple, guys. There's still this bias when it comes to silver that a lot of people think of it as an industrial metal, right? It is, right? We know that. We know that it, obviously, you know all the uses. I know all the uses for silver. However, silver is also a monetary metal, but that industrial component of silver used in electronics, medical equipment, batteries, solar panels, all that, people think that if the economy is slowing down, that'll decrease the demand for silver, which it potentially could. However, what they're missing is the fact that we know, and the numbers just came out from the Silver Institute last week, that there's still a massive deficit in the silver market. The world is consuming more silver every single year, and this year will mark the fourth consecutive year that this is the case, that the world consumes more silver. Hold on. Susie, over.
Oh, Shadow Work was asking, what about stagflation?
I know, you tell Shadow Work that stagflation's right here. Here. All right. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate it. And thank you, Shadow Work. Shadow Work, you jumped the gun. There it is right there, circled in red. Stagflation. I'm going to get to it. But nonetheless, where was I? Yeah, the silver market's totally out of balance. Okay. We're consuming more silver every year than we're producing. The silver mining production is like the equivalent of like 4% of the gold mining production. There's very little new pipeline of silver projects coming online. Yes, there's some, but I'm telling you, when this deficit that's occurring every single year in the silver market catches up with the dwindling supplies, that there's only so much silver, right? There's only so much silver above ground. That price will shoot up. It's not like they're going to be able to just turn on new silver production from the mines. Once it hits that critical point and the free market takes over, that's all she wrote, right? That's all she wrote. All right, now I'll talk about stagflation, then we'll get back to silver. Guys, I don't care what you say. Okay. I don't care what you say about me, right? Because look, I was talking to somebody last night. They're like, Ronnie, gold's at $3,400. I said, I know. A year ago, when I would put out thumbnails that would say $3,400 gold, I would get attacked. People would say, you're a pumper. You're clickbait. You're this, you're that. Well, I said all along, that's where I thought the gold price could go. I also believe that we could have like $60, $70 silver 1 year from now. Okay, why? I'll tell you why. There's one big reason why, right? And that's this. That's him, okay? And that's this, a recession on one side and inflation on the other. Jerome Powell is in a box. That recession and inflation at the same time is a stagnant economy with inflation. That makes for stagflation. And that puts the Fed in a box. I've been playing with that box for over a year. Okay. I was right about the gold price. I'm not right about everything. I'm not bragging, but I know I'm going to be right about the silver price. I know also, I feel that's also going to be true for crypto as well, that we're going to have much higher prices. But right now we have a stagnant economy. Trump's even saying it. Right? Trump's saying the economy, I've read something this morning. The economy is going to slow down if Jerome doesn't raise interest rates. Well, Jerome knows, lower interest rates, that if he lowers interest rates right now, that's going to make inflation even worse. And we still have an inflation problem right now. And when these tariffs kick in, whatever, right, it could create a massive wave of inflation. Well, then what do they got to do? Well, they got to deal with inflation. So they got to raise interest rates. And what does that do? That slows the economy down even more. And then what do they have to do there? They have to cut interest rates. That makes the inflation worse. It's a horrible, horrible cycle. Jerome Powell was at the Chicago Economic Club last week speaking. I was listening intently to him. He basically, in so many words, what I heard, did you hear what he said? I heard Jerome Powell say, I'm up a creek without a paddle. Right? Jerome Powell is probably going to get to a point where he's going to want President Trump to fire him, because the reality of the situation is he's in a very, very difficult situation with stagflation. What does that mean for the price of silver and gold? You've heard me say it a million times. I've been banging this table for 2 years telling you that we're going to go into a stagflationary environment. And when you look back simply in the 1970s, the last time we had stagflation, it was the holy grail for silver and gold prices. It was incredible for the precious metals prices. This time, I personally am also going to include crypto in that. The crypto prices will go absolutely crazy, okay? Hey, guys, I want to say thank you to you for being here, number one. This is not possible without you and your participation. You are always welcome in the basement. You always have a friend in the basement. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. But I'm sorry, I'll always look at you as a friend when you join me down here. But I need to say thank you also to our sponsors, Ledger. Ledger is a French company. They are Oh, thank you for the super chat. I'll get to that in 1 second. Remind me if I forget. Ledger is a leader in crypto security, right? Allowing people to secure their crypto by keeping the keys to the crypto off the internet. They've helped millions of people all around the world. It's a big privilege to have them as a sponsor because they are a top tier organization. If you get into crypto, make sure you learn about Ledger. Trust me, you don't want to learn the hard way like I did. And our friends at MoonPay, they're a financial technology company. They are helping people all around the world, over 30 million customers, including me, convert fiat into crypto. MoonPay is a top-tier organization. Their CEO, Ivan, is highly respected all around the world. So thank you to both MoonPay and Ledger for your sponsorship. Now, where was I? And Jerome also has been talking about uncertainty, Jerome Powell. Things are screwy right now. Where's my piece of sheet? My sheet of paper, not my piece of sheet. All right. We got so much going on. Tariffs are hitting, right? Like never before. Geopolitics, right? The Doge cuts. Now we have Trump saying he's going to wants to fire Jerome Powell. We are living through truly unprecedented times. Let's go take a look at some of the charts. First, I need to see who gave a super chat. Start. Here we go. Shadow Work. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Nice to see you. Super sticker. Shadow Work. All the basement dwellers. All the new people. It's really great what we've got going on. And I know that the people in the precious metals community are doing really well during this difficult time. So, but thank you. Thank you, my friend Shadow Work, for the super chat. Let's go out. Let's remember this, guys. It always bears repeating that we take a look at this. Hold on. Here we go. Our old friend, the cup and handle, is still in play within the silver market. There's a couple ways to look at it. I prefer my simple drawing. Look, back in, hold on here. I'm sorry, back in 1980, we had the silver price hit $50 and $1980. 2011 did the same thing. As you can see, that's the cup. And where we are right now is in this handle, and just, oh boy, is it just me, or does it absolutely feel like we are building up massive amounts of energy to break out in the silver price? Let's go take a look.
Update your pretty artwork to 2025,
Yeah, thank you, Susie. Everybody say hi to Susie. She says I need to update my artwork. I certainly will. I think I sent the original of that to our friend Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Let's go out and just do, this is just blows me away when we look at the silver price. We're going to go out and look at the Oriental Ghost here and get an update on the silver price. But he said this, gold's at an all-time high again. This is from China, on the ground in China. The silver vaults at the Shanghai markets continue to flow out significantly. Gold miners and jewelry stocks surge with 6 companies hitting the daily limit up. Again, this is in China. This is referring to the silver and gold markets. And if we pull up, this is the daily Shanghai Gold Exchange and Shanghai Futures Exchange daily report. Guys, these are cash markets, basically. And the silver price in China right now is actually at $35.13. All right. That again, and on the futures market down here, 35.21. That's the SGE, the gold exchange, and this is the futures. And again, AG is the symbol for silver. So it's just incredible that in China, on the actual physical market, we are seeing a big divergence, a big difference between what we're seeing in the United States on the spot markets. Let's go take a look. This is interesting. Developments at the Fed. This is the CME Group FedWatch tool, which shows us that in 16 days, we will be hearing from the Fed, and that there's now only an 85% chance of an 85% chance of no cut, only a 13% chance that we're going to get a cut of 25 basis points or a quarter of a point. But what is interesting on this, what do you think is going to happen by December? When we go out to December, it's a different story altogether. Okay, in December, we could be in for some massive cuts. So here's the current rate, 4.25 to 4.5. In December, the odds of us having a full percentage point lower, that would be this right here, are about 40%. The odds of, wow, a 1 1/4, is that correct? Yeah. Excuse me, 1 1/4% lower is at 25%. So basically, there's a 2/3% chance that at minimum, we're going to have interest rates 1% lower. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Did you say something, Susie? Over.
Jake said something about the markets are taking a beating today and the DXY.
Yep, I'm going to get to the DXY next. Thank you. You guys are all over me today. Yeah, the markets are definitely taking a beating. But guys, look, we're going to be down. There's a 65% chance that in 1 year, or by the end of the year, 8 months from now, interest rates are going to be at least 1% lower. I thought we looked at the markets already. I believe we did, but we'll just go out there and then we're going to look at the DXY, because that is a major, major development that we need to keep an eye on. Let's go to the U.S. markets. Yeah. And let's get the right screen up. There we go. So the Dow still down 3%. The NASDAQ down almost 3.5%. Really, really crazy. Now, there's one thing that will absolutely continue to have a major impact on the price of precious metals, and I believe crypto as well, and that's the dollar index. And if we look at the DXY index here, unbelievable, guys. We were following this closely last week. Hold on. Let's do a 5-day. Yeah, we were above 100 last week. It kind of dipped below, but we are now way below 100, 98.43. This is a massive move. for one day in the dollar index, down 1%. That is pretty much, I won't say a crash, but a very extreme move. And because you want to see it and I want to show it, this is probably one of the most encouraging things that we can look at in the market right now, whether we're looking at precious metals or cryptocurrencies. And that is that this dollar index could go way lower. Everybody was so concerned about it breaking below 100. But guys, if we look back here, right, look at this long period of time from, let's say, I don't know, about 08 through January, that 6-year period, we were down all the way down here a couple times with a DXY index of 75. That could be absolutely crazy for the silver and gold price and for crypto prices as well. Now, if we look at this period of time, which is basically from about 2001 through 2011, where I drew that red line, you can see the DXY index went down probably from about 120 all the way down to 75. That's a period of time where silver, for instance, went from about $5 per ounce. That was just after the tech bubble burst. And over that 10-year period, silver went from $5 all the way to $50 per ounce. Sorry about that. Thanks for hopping on with me here today. I've been fighting some horrible allergies, so sorry about the muting and unmuting of the microphone. But I just really feel like as we look out into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and when we look at everything going on, all the uncertainty that we're facing, right? The value of the dollar, right? At minimum, in real terms, there's no mathematical way possible that the dollar can't continue to lose value in real terms. And when we look at that DXY index, right, in relative indexed terms as well, I think that the precious metals and the crypto markets both have like a lot of run ahead of them. When we couple that with the fact that we have the stagflationary environment, right, the United States, unfortunately, has kind of cooked its own goose. I think we're in for some good times ahead. Hey, thanks for joining me. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.